We are live. This is the market update. I am your host, Bill Noble. If you need a roadmap in crypto, like when will the rally start this spring? When will it end? And I have a shocking 2025, 2026, and are you ready for this? 2027 roadmap based on Gann work and eclipses from this year. Bottom line is you got to make your money while you can. When the market's going up, you got to be on it. If you want to know what coins to be on, we got a new coin report coming out in the next 2 days, possibly even tonight. So check out the YouTube member area, and we will have something for our middle tier members in Patreon. But if you need a roadmap in crypto, stick with this channel because we got an eclipse in March and we got an eclipse in October, and I'm going to show you how to go through it. Don't forget about LuxAlgo, right? That is kind of the backbone of how we do things here on this show. All right, let's welcome who's here. Alexandra, welcome from Europe. Bull Runner is here, giving the Eagle King some love. Philip, Richard Barry, Gavin, with every emoji we have. Don't forget, with $4.99 membership, you can get cool emojis and priorities on comments. Big Rich, sleepy time in the market. Back to DCA and chill. You know what, dude? I agree. One of the benefits of being in Patreon is that you get guys like Big Rich and you get community and the chat. Grandpa Keeter, Sunday, a member. Forget About It is here. Baby Whale, the Fuzz Crypto. DC Precise in the house. Welcome to the mini winter market update. Okay, news, let's go. Okay, we have the Germans are now conservative, or so we hope. They have 29% of the vote. Let's hope we can stop kicking down people's doors for what they say on social media. And if that happens, you got to get yourself an antivirus, private SIM card, and private gift card. And the mixer is also out. But, you know, hopefully Germany is now free. We will see. Okay. Joe Rogan just followed the Solana phone. Thank goodness. God, can we get something where Solana is not pump.fun stink or celebrity meme stink? I thought the Orange Man was going to help him in January, and that situation devolved to such a point, it's painful to talk about it. Okay, AIntivirus has something called a mixer. So if you want to stay private on the Solana chain, please check us out. Please check it out. Now, just so you know about the Solana phone, again, not affiliated with it, but it's $500 to get on the pre-order. I don't know if that's what the phone costs, but I guess you better get that while it's hot with the Joe Rogan follow. Breaking in the last 7 days, $100 million in ETH has been bridged to Solana. So the money continues to head for the casino and away from ETH. It's getting so bearish, ETH, and the fact that ETH did not go down when it should have on bad news. That's encouraging. What's amazing, and we talked about this yesterday, is how quickly this narrative shifted from the Bybit hack. So if you haven't heard, $1.4 billion in Ethereum was taken directly off a centralized exchange by North Korean hackers. Okay, it's amazing how that discussion went from, gee, what about Bybit security, or what about security in general, to what is the Ethereum Foundation going to do? Are they going to sort of operate on the blockchain to wall off the hackers? Are they going to fork the code? Okay, it's amazing. Ethereum just can't catch a break. Now, speaking of can't catch a break, here comes more celebrity meme coins. Okay, Toby in our YouTube member area actually predicted this last year. I didn't realize the amount of cringe that we would have. So I cannot scroll down on this t-shirt. Safe to say, nobody is better at getting attention than Kanye West. There was talk that would launch directly to Binance. Okay, I'm not sure if he can do that given the controversial t-shirt that we just didn't see. Okay, so if this remains talk and hype, that may be better for crypto because talk and hype wears out. They actually issue this monster, especially with a massive Gann planetary alignment coming at the end of the month. That's part of the roadmap that you're staying tuned for. You know, the cringe of this, on one hand, he's great at getting attention. So if any meme coin could survive, it might be his. Then again, these all have ended badly, right? Nauseating to think about the billions that guys like this can attract. Yet Bitcoin Cash, which could be a Roger Ver meme coin or antivirus for John McAfee or a guy like Charlie Shrem, who just sits quietly and, you know, maybe hopes somebody picks up the banner and gets him a pardon like Ross. It's kind of weird that this is what we're talking about these days, but the news are the news. And when we're done with this, the market can go up. And until then, we just sit and wait and pray for our bags, literally. Okay. Kanye started following this guy, who is a big Polygon individual. So Kanye is getting lots of attention following crypto people. Hopefully it's just talk and that they don't actually do it. Okay. If you're looking for, you know, alpha or a discussion on the Yi coin launch, I listened to @Bark Meta Space, right? They did a Twitter space on it. So if you want some more information, you can check that out. Trump tells CPAC that he's going to Fort Knox with Elon Musk to search for gold. Okay, so you all know what I think about this. I discussed it with Toby. This is effectively some kind of publicity stunt. In my mind, the best case scenario is most of the gold is there. And then Trump comes out on March 4th and says, we want to do Bitcoin because with Bitcoin, there's no hiding Bitcoin. There's no stealing Bitcoin. There's no Fed games with Bitcoin. We know what we have, which would be wonderful. Okay. Now, obviously, if he goes into Fort Knox, or maybe it's not obvious, if he goes into Fort Knox and that gold is not there, you're going to have a crisis. You're going to have a crisis of confidence in the gold market, in the foreign exchange market, and possibly even in the bond market. Because if we say we have assets and we don't have assets, what happens to our liabilities, aka our debt, aka treasury bonds? Hopefully, this is just theater that acts as a distraction from real problems in the economy, namely that you have a deficit problem, you're going to have an unemployment problem in certain East Coast cities, right? That's not going to be fixable. Like, for example, just had a guy tell me Intel's expanding its plant in Arizona. You know, laid off government workers are not going to turn around and work for Intel. You know, it's apples and oranges. You're going to have a problem with employment at some point soon. So, you know, this makes great theater with Elon. And as with all theater, you have to ask yourself, is this a distraction? And if so, a distraction from what? Perfection is achieved not when there is nothing more to add, but when there is nothing left to take away. Michael Saylor. You know, we're all sitting around waiting for government and Wall Street to save crypto. Like, when ETF, when strategic reserve. Now, I get it. These are all big buyers of crypto, and it's, you know, it's a conversation, but I kind of miss the days where crypto was the rebellion against the system, where we didn't sit around and say, when ETF, we sat around and said, when alternative to the system. Now, Sonic, formerly Fantom, you know, Maker, which has a new name, has been rallying, right? Hyperliquid and Berachain also have catalysts. Get on the new stuff, get on the DeFi, right? It's going to be a sector game. It's going to be a market of cryptos rather than a crypto market. Can Trump make Bitcoin useful again? Man, do I hope so. I hope so. I hope he can make Bitcoin not only a reserve asset, but he can get something going like Litecoin or Bitcoin Cash, or even his own meme coin as a form of money to be able to purchase things, right? He wants the dollar lower. There was a summit at Mar-a-Lago, right? The goal of all this is to reduce the debt burden, lower the dollar, and bring down interest rates. It could work. That's another thread. This thread is a way to stop thinking literally like, oh, tariffs are inflation, full stop. Okay. So, this is from Jim Bianco, a big economist. Not only are we looking for the orange man to make Bitcoin useful again, but we're also looking for lower rates and lower dollar. The dollar is lower. It makes U.S. goods abroad more competitive. It also helps Bitcoin. So if he can't get Bitcoin going, he can get the dollar falling, right? And gold is telling you that the dollar needs to fall. Now, it's tough to read the print, but Gary Cardone dumps his entire XRP position, says, I generally hope the XRP army gets stupid rich. I don't think you will. Okay. So first, it was a great way to get attention for saying XRP is going to $6. Now everyone's trying to get attention by saying XRP is done at $3. I guess it all depends on what Ripple does and how well they can sell XRP to the public, to banks, and as a fast form of money. I don't think I want to sell a fast form of money when the amount of gold we have in Fort Knox is even under question. I mean, whether it's there or it's not there, I don't know. The fact that it's in question bothers me, right? And who knows what's underneath the hood at the Fed and the Treasury. So frankly, I'm not keen on selling fast forms of money. Then again, if all we're doing is sitting around and waiting for an XRP ETF to moon our bags, it might be a while. Do you know what I'm saying? Now, that said, when big coins move, you got to be on it. And that means time in the market is more important than timing the market in big coins. You're going to need active portfolio management in altcoins, but when it comes to the big coins, you're going to have to be involved in the market in order to be able to catch these rallies, these spurts, which we'll talk about when we do, kind of a multi-year roadmap off Gann work and eclipses. Time for the SEC to get serious on crypto. Okay, here's the deal with the SEC. So the good news is they're not going to litigate against crypto. I think the bad news is they don't know what to do in terms of getting pro-crypto regulation passed so we can get off meme coins. Either they got to come in with badges and shut down the likes of Pump.Fund to stop the rug chain, which, given that people are passing away trying to promote meme coins, and people are losing money, like it's Las Vegas. It's like, unregulated gambling. That may not be under the SEC's jurisdiction. But if they don't stop Punt.Fund, and I don't think they should, what they need to do is create a framework where crypto projects can get out there. And then the orange man needs to have tax-free transactions on American-made cryptos. So there's something else to buy, something else to list other than Kanye coin. Because right now, there isn't. There isn't. All right? There just isn't. VanEck projects the U.S. government will accumulate 1 million Bitcoin by 2029, and that it could offset $21 trillion in national debt. Okay, so it is cool that investment banks are willing to come in and have their research departments effectively bullpost crypto when crypto is doing nothing and everyone is depressed. If research pounds the table, then they must believe it. And that's good. That's good. I mean, waiting for investment banks to save us may not be good. But, if their research departments are like, look, this is what we think about crypto and we're going to stay with it. That gives me hope that if the last week of February isn't a disaster because of the planetary alignment at the end of the month, that you can turn around and actually rally in March. I don't think I want to fade the orange man stepping up to the podium at the State of the Union address and saying, yeah, we're doing alternative forms of money to help America and help crypto. Because I don't know what happened to Web3 made in America, but I would strongly suggest they bring it back. Okay, James Lopp is a Bitcoin legend. Bought his first Bitcoin at $10 and then erased himself from the internet. Now, obviously, since I'm into John McAfee, right? I would also be into Roger Ver, Charlie Shrem, and all these like OG guys, right? As a way of going back to our roots, the rebellious cryptocurrency movement where we wanted crypto instead of something issued by a government. Waiting for governments to save us is going to be a long wait. I know the orange man wants to do it, but if that's the only thing going on in crypto, as you see with altcoins, you know, like if they're going to do the Bitcoin strategic reserve and nothing else, the rest of this market, I don't know, doesn't have any sponsorship, to use a legacy term. Now, something that I've said all along is that the first step in the strategic Bitcoin reserve is probably encouraging all the different states, starting with the more rebellious or, you know, I don't know, more libertarian red states, traditional states, I don't know, less liberal states, whatever, to get the states doing Bitcoin. Because if there's a problem with fiat currencies, and there is a problem with fiat currencies, all of them, right? They all have their problems. Like hopefully off this German election, the euro rallies. And if the euro doesn't rally off the German election, there's a problem with the euro. But we'll see about that on Monday. U.S. states cannot afford a federal currency crisis. They just can't. Now, back to Bybit. So everybody is now on Vitalik as to how to solve the hack. Vitalik's answer should be, you should go get better security, get out of my face. However, everybody is like, well, you have proof of stake, which means all the big players who have staked the most ETH can vote about what to do about this hack. So this guy wants to have Ethereum and then some sort of, I don't know, can we call it fork or change in the Ethereum network that would create ETH North Korea, which would immediately be delisted everywhere. And then you would leave Ethereum Classic, was a byproduct of a solution to a giant hack in 2016. So all of a sudden, Vitalik and the whole proof of stake model is almost like on trial. It's like, what are you guys going to do about this? Can you chop off a piece of the blockchain? Can you change the chain altogether? Can you fork the code? Can you roll it back? There's all this blockchain jargon going on out there, but hopefully it's a bottom in ETH, right? Like ETH gas fees are at zero. Everybody's bridging over to Solana. Now would be a really good time to see a bottom in ETH, right? Everybody is waiting to see what happened. ETH should have gone down, but it didn't. But then again, we're staring at the last week of February with NVIDIA earnings and all kinds of going on in legacy, like problems with the yen that are not dissimilar to what we saw in the summer of 2024. Stocks were down a lot on Friday, and it wasn't because of the Bybit hack. It wasn't. Okay. It was because of fear of NVIDIA earnings, which is on the 26th, and fear of what's going on in Japan and with the yen. Now, hopefully, legacy FUD is just legacy FUD. Everyone gets scared before, maybe reacts after, and then that's it, right? In other words, legacy FUD has not been a reason to sell crypto in 2 years, because every time there is legacy FUD, even if crypto melts down, it comes back, right? Sometimes quickly. Now, again, what happened last year with the yen, you know, that was nasty, very nasty. And we've already had our trade on tariffs, and you got a big economist telling you that that's not a big deal. So how many problems are we going to make up before we stop making up problems? You know, Kanye West is a problem. That is a problem. But how many of those are left? How many are left? U.S. and Russia delegations to meet in Saudi Arabia for negotiations to end the war. I think if the orange man gets this done, it guarantees the strategic Bitcoin reserve because it shows that he's got cross-border power. Elon, we must solve the deficit. There won't be money for medical care, Social Security, or Mars. He didn't say that on the show, but it's implied. They got to do something about the deficit because they got to get rates down, right? The housing market is still locked. No one's buying houses. No one's buying anything, right? Credit card defaults, car loans, blah, 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 blah. They have to get rates down, and they're going to lay people off, close departments, and do whatever it is they have to do, including, frankly, scare people to death, right? Yesterday, consistent with President Trump's instructions, all federal employees will shortly receive an email requesting to understand what they got done last week. Now, everybody is going, yeah, mob justice, get them. I'm sure there's some people that actually do work in these agencies who are probably scared out of their mind. I'm just saying, right? This is a distraction. And then Elon has to backtrack it and be like, well, we had a large number of good responses. There actually are people working, but this is designed to read out fraud in case nobody's working and collecting a paycheck. So again, more theater. This is not going to solve the deficit problem. We're spending $1 trillion every 100 days. Okay. And the orange man's talking about additional tax incentives. So again, it's theater, but the problems that were there, the reasons for Bitcoin, the reasons for an alternative form of money, they're still there. And everybody is all caught up in this hype, and these headlines are everywhere because after all, he does own Twitter, right? He's got the hype everywhere, but it's a distraction. A distraction from what exactly? Elon proposes FAFO as the enforcement arm of Doge. How about we get Bitcoin going instead? How about we get a wealth effect going instead of, I don't know, whatever this is, theater for Elon to be cool. I mean, it's good that, we got something going on and everybody in, cost reduction is cool. But again, what does this actually solve? Joe Rogan is surprised that Woody Harrelson revealed that, RFK, his voice was messed up by the flu shot. Again, I don't think you should underestimate RFK. And at the end of the day, I don't think you should underestimate what Uncle Sugar is going to do to change things. And that includes Bitcoin. But you have to have time in the market and you have to be able to hold on with volatility. Okay. Again, Congress as a hedge fund. Nancy Pelosi makes, whatever, and she's worth $100 million. Well, that's because she's a hedge fund trading on inside information and taking money from whatever source, I don't know. Okay. Again, theater, right? Nancy Pelosi, corruption in Congress. Is that really fresh information? Well, it's fresh information that it's winding up on Joe Rogan and it's public theater. I would prefer they get after Bitcoin, to be honest. Okay, so we have more political news, right? So like right-wing groups that were given pardons for the event that happened in January are getting riled up. They want to sue the Justice Department. I don't blame them, but they also launched a meme coin. I'm not showing it because I'm just not showing it, right? Okay, so again, they're announcing lawsuits and launching meme coins. Is there any end to the cringe? I mean, these guys deserve a measure of justice, right? Because, when you're in jail, you lose wages, your whole life gets disrupted, your loved ones suffer. Okay, but do you really need to launch a meme coin? I don't think so. Okay. So somebody gets arrested. So somebody got pardoned that got arrested for throwing someone's phone. Again, can we please get back to what's important? AI premium price tags are now creating a new digital divide. As companies roll out $100+ monthly subscriptions for AI tools, expert warns that technology meant to democratize innovation is leaving the most of the world behind. Okay, Toby, the co-host of the member area, ran into a $200 a month message from OpenAI to continue to play with their video tool, at which point she stopped playing with their video tool, right? And Toby's an artist. She can create a lot of great things, but this whole idea that AI makes everything better, this $100 a month subscription finances what exactly, right? Like, what are you boys doing with the money? Now, this to me makes an argument for privacy, right? Even if you like the current administration, government doesn't always do the right thing, especially over the long haul. And these tech companies are going to be so big and so important, they may be and have power like governments do. Because these systems, I don't know, they can get loose or they can just pry on you. Because what are they after? They're after your data. That's how they train their models. Okay, hence my, relentless support of antivirus and their mixer that rolled out and their eSIM card. And frankly, the memeability of Janice McAfee and an AI version of John McAfee, right? McAfee, rather. Sorry. Security execs weigh in on staggering scale of record Bybit hack. Okay, well, the good news about the Bybit hack is that everyone transferred their crypto out and didn't just sell it at the market, because that could have been a lot worse. And you still don't know what's going to happen on Monday. Crypto normally, according to one colleague, has scary weekends. This weekend wasn't as scary as others. The bottom line is people transferred crypto out. The bad news is, they got to get after this Lazarus group, like sovereigns. Like, the primary job of government is to protect the people, right? Somebody should be kicking in the door of Lazarus or the people or whatever. If they can get the guy from Tornado Cash and throw him in jail without due process, these sovereigns better find out. Because if they had market sold, just in theory, $1.4 billion in Ethereum, with Ethereum inside an ETF, that's the financial system that could be, disturbed by something like this. So sovereigns and governments and intelligence services better get involved, and they will. They will. I mean, I would be shocked if the Orange Man didn't comment on the fact that this kind of stuff is not going to be tolerated, right? It's not going to be tolerated. Ethereum rollback deemed technically intractable amid Bybit hack pressure. Okay. It's amazing how quickly that situation became all about Ethereum. Okay. Bybit hacker emerges, right? Is there going to be a supply squeeze as Bybit hacker emerges as world's 14th largest ETH holder? So in other words, you just took a big chunk of supply off the market. I don't know if these guys can be isolated somehow, but the market's clearly looking for a silver lining when it comes to this type of work. Binance research shows 95% of Latin American crypto users plan to buy more. I think a lot of people plan to buy more because it's the future of money, right? And it's also the future of tech. Now, the future of tech has been left by the side of the road. A couple coins, some of which we caught in the YouTube member area, like, Sonic, formerly Fantom. We had that early. And we're still into Baratrain, and we're still into DeFi. Because, man, if you don't need DeFi after like centralized exchanges get hacked and things like this, it's like, I don't know, man. I just feel the need to get outside the system, right? $4 billion bank run after the hack. So, everybody lost their mind and pulled out a Bybit, and who knows if they can ever recover, right? Like, who's going back unless their funds are all guaranteed? And I don't know if they can do that, right? This is like reputational damage by the ecosystem. Now, just in case you think you don't need the type of things that antivirus provides, like the eSIM cards, okay, and the private gift cards, would you look at what they're doing in Canada? That you can't send out news, like you can't repost news on social media platforms, if I understand it correctly, right? In other words, like Google and other companies can't have news on social media platforms in Canada. And this is with Trudeau being out. It's just unbelievable, right? The case for privacy is breathtaking. And even if you don't do antivirus, which has a whopping market cap of 9 million, what about Zcash, right? What about these big cap cryptos? We got to stop being afraid of privacy and start embracing it. Okay. A super chat from T-Bone. Sir, we appreciate you. We appreciate you and giving some love to the Eagle King. Thank you. Thank you. He appreciates that, as do I. I had a conversation when we were talking about Canadians having their ability to communicate online limited, where many people said that's not true. And this is what I was talking about. The Canadian Online News Act prevents people from sharing news links on certain social media platforms. A bill is on its way through the Canadian Parliament that would impose draconian criminal penalties on hate speech and curtail people's liberty in order to stop crimes that they haven't committed yet, aka thought crime. Yes, that's right, thought crime. Okay. Chinese money supply. So let's be real brief about what's going on in macro. So this was the 2024 debacle in the dollar versus the yen. A weak yen is an engine for speculation. Let's leave it at that. When the dollar fell and the yen rose, everybody sold. Stocks, crypto, everything. Okay, the dollar versus the yen is slipping again. Lower dollar is good as long as it doesn't get disorderly like this. Okay, this could have been the reason why the stock market was freaking out on Friday. It was not because of the Bybit hack. You got to be really careful about the stock market. There's an eclipse on March 14th. You know, hopefully the stock market can recover this week, and all of this is just what I would call the knife experience, meaning people like remember the last one and they freak out about a new one, and that in fact does not occur. Crypto cannot survive Kanye West coin and a macro problem with the yen. That would be a mess. Okay, hopefully that does not happen and the market bottoms on this planetary alignment at the end of the month. Okay, let's see. Okay, now what I got to do is, I know that we had a member request. I can't remember. It was Sui and something else. So in the event that that person is watching, I apologize for ending the stream without seeing it. So let's do Sui. Okay, on a daily chart on LuxAlgo, the good news is Sui is sitting on equilibrium, and a lot of altcoins are like this. It felt like it was going to the moon when it was up here, and really where it was at the premium zone. So it stopped at the premium zone before, you know, the inauguration, and then it proceeded to go down. It sits on the 200-day moving average. Everybody is giving up on it, and it's a recipe for a rally if this level holds, right? I cannot find a rationale to be negative on big altcoins at this time. Okay, obviously it's going to be a bumpy end of the month. Toby in the YouTube member area calls wobble, and frankly, she has had the call on wobble for some time. Now, wobble is if you don't know what that means, that is effectively the opposite of alt season, where everything goes up at the same time. Okay, if you need a roadmap in crypto, subscribe to this channel. Okay, Floki was the other one. So let me get Floki going. Meme coin madness, right? Somebody called me up this morning and is like, dude, you know, antivirus has so much functionality. It's going to transcend the meme narrative. And dude, I agree. There's so much functionality there, you know, and I have a feeling when we call up the average meme coin, it's like, you know, do you really want to be involved in this? Okay. So when it comes to Floki, right? So the good news is share screen. Okay. T-Bone is asking, do I see a turn north? Yes. Yeah. March 1st. I think this thing's going to turn around. Okay. So Floki, you know, LuxAlgo has got a downward sloping channel. It would be awesome if it broke out of that, but right now it's hitting resistance. And I don't know if you're going to have a give up trade in this. I don't know, but I don't see any LuxAlgo bottom signals yet down here on the oscillator matrix. I think the best case scenario in Floki is that it breaks this trend line by going sideways. Like if these things here are bases, that's good. That's what you want. You know, wobbling in a tight range is good. We would hate if Kanye coin came out and that was an excuse to sell everything out and chase that. So I hate to say it, but the future of your meme coin and probably my coin is in the hands of Kanye West. How wonderful is that? Okay, MicroStrategy and the miners. Let's do it. Okay, so MicroStrategy broke out on a daily chart of a triangle, and it either doesn't mean anything, okay, or, you know, it's going lower, right? It's not a pretty looking chart right this second. I think what you're hoping for, if you're bullish, is you're hoping for either a fast wick down to the 200-day moving average at 250 and back, or you're hoping that it gets back above 320, right? You want to see MicroStrategy back above 320, and I would imagine you're not going to see that until after NVIDIA, right? Because everyone's freaking out about NVIDIA, right? Okay, let me get one miner that I know T-Bone likes. Okay, you're headed for the discount zone. Like, this is the argument for crypto equities at this point outside of Coinbase, right? Yes, you did break out of the bottom of this awful channel, right? You know, this awful big channel, I should say. But, you know, any more puking in Marathon and you're probably going to have some sort of buy signal, right? But again, it didn't pay to buy it at the premium zone at 26, and I can't see the rationale for selling it at 13, right? Especially since equities may do its puke. You know, if equities puke on NVIDIA, which is entirely possible, right? Because equities look terrible, right? If equities puke on NVIDIA, that could create a monster buying opportunity in these Bitcoin miners, despite the fact that this price action is understandably upsetting. I get it. It's not fun, right? Okay. So we're going to go to DEX tools. And I know people are really messed up in Ski Mask Dog. So Ski is up a lot today. That's good, right? Now, we've seen this before in Ski, right? Where, you know, it hung around the 62% retracement level, and when it broke down, it couldn't come back. So then it just kept going lower. Now, if Ski Mask Dog can get itself back above, this is like a 78% retracement around like 8 cents or 0.078, that would be constructive. You know, I would like to see certain coins come back. This is one of them, right? But, you know, we got to get sustained momentum in the market. Got to get sustained momentum in the market. I would imagine you're waiting for that until March 1st. That's a guess. But that planetary alignment is there, and it's going to be an inflection point. And sometimes these GAN formations, I mean, if you ask something like Grok or Perplexity, you know, big GAN events create reversals. That said, this thing has to prove that higher price buyers are willing to pay higher prices. Antivirus has got the same issue, right? It's got the same issue. Right? Okay, Edge. This thing is such a beast. Okay. So this tops out and then comes right back. I mean, it's doing this. It's doing the square range. Now, there's resistance at 1.5. And, you know, like there was resistance in Ohm, and Ohm just kept going. You're going to want to buy the winners. I don't know that you want to buy the winners right up against the premium zone. Like, obviously, when this went back to equilibrium at 75 cents, like, that's where you want to buy these winners. But this is acting like it wants to go up. But it hasn't paid to buy anything at the premium zone. I'm just saying. You know, I tried to get all bulled up because I really thought that there was going to be a fundamental shift, and I didn't get it. I didn't get it. Right? Okay, someone's asking about GOAT. You know, I would love a little bit of leadership in the AI coins. So GOAT got wrecked down to 100 million market cap. This is what kills me about antivirus, right? You know, sometimes what these things have to do is they have to do that before it turns higher, right? I know a bunch of guys, you know, who are really into, I don't know, they're really into Fartcoin. It's actually getting harder to find it because there are so many imitators. You know, it is funny that a machine did come up with this. Again, you know, like if you look at the 4-hour chart of this, you know, this was kind of a stair step lower. So if it starts making either higher lows and then starts taking out, you know, all the various steps on the way up, this could wake up. I'd settle for anything in the AI sector waking up right now, to be honest with you. I think it's all about DeFi at the moment, right? Okay, Sky. Oh, this is Maker. This used to be Maker, right? Okay, so Sky has reached its equilibrium level. That's it. That's it. And if you look at the amount of just complete giving up in this, which I couldn't believe. I just couldn't believe it. Maybe it had to do with the name change or the token swap. I don't know. But LuxAlgo continues to put support underneath it, and it's only at equilibrium. It's not like this is overbought. DeFi is not overbought, right? You know, Hyperliquid is like unveiling EVM style functionality. I don't know why everyone's fading DeFi. I don't get it, right? This is Fantom. You know, this is now Sonic. You know, I know this is like an airdrop based narrative, but it's only at equilibrium. And LuxAlgo is trying to put a floor underneath it. Now, you know, this has outperformed lately, so it may chill out over the next week. But what do you want to get after March 1? Right? What do you want to get after March 1? I mean, I don't have a problem buying dips in this thing. I really don't, especially if you look at the extent of people giving up. You know, we put Zcash on a watch list, right? There's a lot of resistance. The 200-day moving average is at 43. I really want to get privacy going. Really. Just so you know, I know you probably know this already, but, I did an interview with Janice McAfee. It was a really great experience. They showed me how to use this stuff, and I don't understand why people are not interested in privacy. I understand because they think Kanye West coin is going to $100 billion market cap. And, the idea of being, I'm a crypto sniper. Okay. So it's fun. But again, I like the idea of a head and shoulders bottom, and I like the idea of this waking up. All you need is like a hack of a big exchange to, I don't know, make privacy important. That could, I don't know. That's just me. All right, let's go to the roadmap in crypto. Okay, now, this may be a little hard to see, but let me break it down for you. In 1987, you had a solar eclipse on March 29th. In 2025, you have an eclipse on March 13th. In 1987, you had eclipses, solar and lunar, September 23rd to October 7th. September was when the market topped out, and then it completely got destroyed in October. In 2025, you have eclipses in early September and late September. So how does this provide you with a roadmap in crypto? Well, into the March eclipse, equities rallied. So I had Grok construct me a conservative roadmap and said, all right, let's take these eclipses and then let's project out 3 years. Let's pretend this is going to be like an 87-ish year where equities eventually, have to deal with reality. It's not unreasonable, right? So you have a major planetary alignment at the end of March. You have the idea that March could be positive into the eclipse on the 14th, and then probably a dump after that, and then perhaps an acceleration for the rest of the spring. So it's like, uncertain for February, up first half of March, down second half of March, and then possibly rocketing higher into Bitcoin Vegas on Memorial Day. So here's what this looks like. And maybe I should have made these numbers a lot bigger. Okay. So here's your roadmap in crypto. 97K Bitcoin, 2,700 ETH, up 172 Solana for February. Okay. Memorial Day, 108. September, like the summer rally, because that's again what you had in 87. The top is 121. Then an immediate crash to 99. Okay. Solana goes to 213 and crashes down to 175. That wouldn't be so bad because that's basically where everything is right now. So, you have a rally in the spring and the summer that gets unwound quickly in the fall. In the short term, you have volatility in March, up and then down. Then you have a decent rally before and after Bitcoin Vegas. Then after you have this kind of mess in the fall in equities and crypto doesn't close at a new high, right? It doesn't make it all the way back in December. So the top is August or September, and then it doesn't make it back in December. As a matter of fact, it doesn't make it back to the high of 120 in 2026 if it follows what equities did after the crash. Now, that may be a bummer, but I'm going to emphasize this right here. If this is correct, and you have, a jump up, jump down around the March eclipse, then you have a rally into the next eclipse in September, you better make your money. You better make your money on a move to 120 in Bitcoin. So if you're in Bitcoins, time in the market matters. Don't get shaken out. You got to hold the big coins for that rally. And then with all coins, every time you get these avalanche dips, maybe this week, I don't know, maybe in the second half of March, probably, you got to be on it. You got to be on your DeFi, and you got to be on whatever Toby's giving you. I got a new report going into the member area and Patreon coming up this week. Tomorrow, hopefully. You got to make your money this year. Okay. 2026 on this roadmap is blah. The last one I had, the Perplexity one, 2026 was a lot bigger. But I'm just saying, if it follows the eclipse theory. Now, in the eclipse theory, 2027 is the big year. Just like 1989 was a big year in stocks. So in early 27, that's when you're back at 130K Bitcoin. And it closes the high at 161, right? ETH 4,000 and Solana at 287. In some ways, bummer numbers, because I know everyone's like, 300,000. Okay. But if there's a lesson from this sort of bummer roadmap, it's not a bummer roadmap. It's just a conservative, realistic roadmap. You got to make your money now. You got to make your money off any dips that you get in the current environment. Okay, so that is a conservative roadmap based on Gann work. Prior streams, we had more robust price action going on, in 2026. It's always good to know options. Nobody cares about 2027 right now. I mean, unless you're holding crypto stocks, right? Because people hold those long-term. Okay. I think after a blip in September and October, you can hold crypto stocks. Crypto stocks may do better than crypto, at least the big cap ones. I don't know, right? If somebody's going to get a ton of Bitcoin, they're going to have to take over a miner. I continue to believe that, right? I continue to believe it. Plume and Well. All right, let's take a look at Plume and Well. And I know I'm going to shock the world at remembering to share the screen late in a stream. Okay, so Plume on KuCoin. Okay, I don't have a lot of price action to work with here. Okay, this is a Plume 89-minute chart. And this feels like a clear diamond to me. So whichever way Plume breaks out, it could go big in that direction. Possibly up to 17 cents if it breaks 15 cents on the upside. Again, I know this is Kramer and can possibly be the kiss of death, right? But there's always a bull market somewhere. Okay. Could the Kanye coin be a nothing burger? Bro, I hope so. I really hope so. And I think if there's a decline off the Kanye coin, that's an epic buying opportunity in Web3. And frankly, in the big coins, right? To be honest. Because again, with Kanye coin, particularly into a large Gann event, you expect changes, right? All coins have been going down, so you would expect a change in the first half of March. If Kanye coin is the end of this horrid meme coin trend where you get these ridiculous valuations followed by these huge dumps, I don't know, man. Especially when they don't have any utility. All right. Moonwell. Okay. Clear signs of a bottom, right? Not selling anything on top of a discount zone. Everyone gave up on this. The LuxAlgo buy signals were on February 8th and February 19th. I cannot come up with a reason to sell this thing other than the fact that Fantom is trying to eat Aerodrome's lunch, right? Like, if this is connected in any way to base, it looks like everyone's running over to Fantom to do the same thing. Fantom, Sonic, they have Shadow. What is the rationale, though, to give up on this on top of the discount zone? There isn't. There was no rationale to buy the market at the top in front of the premium zone. I had to learn that lesson the hard way. I just don't see the rationale for giving up on the discount zone, right? Except the fact that, as Toby said, you might wobble, right? I mean, if you got to wobble at the end of February, and then you're going to have a rally and then a sharp decline around that March eclipse, right? In other words, you could have something like this. It's possible, right? A lot of people are frustrated and a lot of people are getting down on the market. I understand you're depressed. I understand. It's not like I don't get it, right? It's not like I don't get it. I do get it. But here's what I want to tell you. You can have volatility at the end of this month. A lot of it can be stocks driven. Hopefully it's not Kanye and the yen at the same time. We're going shopping. That's what we're doing. So new report coming out in the next 36 hours, new altcoin ideas. We want to get the new stuff, and we've been right about Fantom and Maker. You know, that's not what they're called anymore. We were right on that stuff, right? And we still like AIntivirus as a low cap play, right? At $8 million market cap, I'm not going to stop pounding the table on that. I'm not. Particularly since I'm going to be doing content with Janice McAfee going forward. And like I said, they've been delivering on a roadmap. The head of the project is a project manager. They delivered eSIM and private gift cards, both of which I tried. They walked me through how to use it, and the mixer just came out. So we're transcending the meme coin, even though there's nobody more memeable than John McAfee. I just got the book, right? I've been listening to the audio book, and I got myself this, right? This guy was hunted by governments and took on the cartels to clean up his own neighborhood. It's a high conviction play, okay? I got a call from a one-man hedge fund who's like, you know what, Bill? Start pounding the table on the functionality. You know why? Because that's what McAfee wanted. He wanted you to use cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency is the currency of the people. You are the people. Do not give up on cryptocurrency. Toby has her version of that. We're going to be checking that out. A report coming out. Podcast Tuesday and Thursday. That's it. I got to go. We will see you tomorrow.